It's a lot.
I want to hire an investigative team, 100,000 cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill named to the Diddy case. I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving Meek. Anything to do with Buddy. Something is not right.
We planned and controlled performances, which he called freak off.
Word on the street is Meek Mill just lit a fire under Diddy's wild Hollywood parties, and this tea is scorching. Meek, the Philly rapper known for keeping it raw, dropped some jaw-dropping info that's shaking the foundation of everything we thought we knew about Diddy's infamous celebrations. This isn't your average celebrity rumor. This is the kind of bombshell that could flip Hollywood on its head. From shocking footage to career-ending revelations, people are saying it's so wild it might just break the internet. Buckle up, this drama is about to explode.
I want to hire an investigative team, 100,000 cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill named to the Diddy case. I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving Meek. Anything to do with Buddy. Something is not right. Somebody said, bro, it's your antics. It's you. You're the one powering that narrative. Now cash at me my 100K. Then he said, the streets know what's up with me. That's not the case. We talking about business side. Somebody powering these bad campaigns with Meek Mill again. I got 100K for a thorough investigation of who's powering and how exactly my name is connected to this. How your name is connected to this? Bro, there's so many videos of you and Diddy. There's videos of Diddy calling you daddy, bro. What do you mean how your name is connected to this? You know, I don't want to sit here and say Meek Mill did this or Meek Mill did that. I mean, who knows what was even happening at these alleged freak off Diddy parties or whatever. But he's asking, how is my name connected to Diddy? Have you not seen the footage? What are you talking about? That's all I'm saying, bro. How you're connected to Diddy? Like, I don't know, bro. He called you daddy. You guys were seen partying a lot.
Before we dive into this jaw-dropping footage, let's break down why Diddy's parties have everyone whispering. These aren't your average Hollywood get-togethers. This is elite-level madness behind velvet ropes, where stars gamble their image just to get in. For years, the streets have buzzed with rumors. Some say it's just VIPs letting loose. Others hint at something way darker. We're talking about secretive, no phone, NDA-signed nights where even A-listers push boundaries. From his legendary New Year's bashes to those all-white Hamptons affairs, Diddy's been the king of excess. But lately, the story's coming out. They're not all champagne and sparkle. Models, celebs, and musicians may show up ready to party. But behind the scenes, whispers of shady behavior have gotten louder. Stuff so wild, it could make grandma gasp and little cousins ask too many questions. If even half of it's true, this could destroy reputations overnight.
Meek Mills. Well, he said a Philly rapper. You understand? And it was redacted in the paperwork to that because first of all, it had Meek Mills, it had Stevie J, they had redacted their names, and they had Usher, and they redacted their names and just said a performer of the Super Bowl and a Philly rapper. Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood shit. This Hollywood shit, whereas that he's dressing like, he dressing the same shit. He dressing like Diddy? Hugged up with Diddy? I think that Lil Rod know a lot of shit, but I know this. Two men dress alike, it's just like two men laying down. When they both get up, they both homos. And that's real talk, bruh. My man, you go to a party, dog, and the nigga got the same shirt you got on, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm walking around in a t-shirt. And then, not to blow Meek Mill's up out the water or anything like that, it was said that they checked his Google search and all the other shit, and he was searching for some online gay porn and all that other shit like that.
Oh, wow.
That shit is crazy, bro. But listen, those are what, you know, it's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something get you. These guys never set out to do all this shit. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioning about his manhood with Diddy. But he put himself in that position.
How bad could it be? Oh, buckle up. We're talking wild drug use, freaky encounters that make even the boldest blush, and shady power games among the elite. For years, it was all whispers, maybe a blurry pic, a vague story from someone who was there, but never solid proof. That's why Meek Mill's leak is making waves. If even a slice of what's rumored is real, this could rock Hollywood to its core. Now, maybe it's all smoke, but the way people are buzzing, this might be the scandal we've all been waiting for.
Yes, they also revealed that they got photos and videos of Diddy Freakos.
When they did that raid, you understand, what they did was, prior to the raid, they reviewed that civil lawsuit. And that civil lawsuit told, Cassie's civil lawsuit was LeRod had already did it. LeRod hadn't did his yet, did he? Did LeRod do his lawsuit before the raid or after the raid?
Oh, before.
Yeah, so what they did was they reviewed both of those civil lawsuits and found that there was some criminal activity in those lawsuits. We spoke that on Art of Dialogue. We spoke about that on your show. I said if they really wanted him, all they had to do was review those civil lawsuits. And once they find the criminal activity in those, they could bring him in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it? No, they didn't. Did California do it? No, they did not. The Southern District of New York, they took it upon themselves and put on that raid and everything based on the information they found in Cassie lawsuit and the information they found in Little Rod lawsuit. But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Cause you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
Yeah, the feds revealed that, anybody that, participated in any, criminal behavior at his Freakos, they're gonna pursue.
Listen here. The mayor here take like 15 spoons of sugar in his coffee. So it's all a possibility.
Do you think there's any celebrities on them tapes?
Bro, he gave celebrity parties. So what you think? You know, I think they're not telling the whole truth, is that because of the situation in Miami and the situation in California, and they closed the clubs like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and something like that, that Justin and Christian was bringing big vans of girls and people back to the mansion and giving parties and stuff like that. And a lot of those stuff were their parties. A lot of that shit was their parties. They wasn't always Puff parties. It was his son's parties.
Good point. They said some of these freak-offs will last for days.
That's where they're gonna get him on the sex trafficking thing. Especially like if he was traveling and doing it. That's where the sex trafficking come at. That you hiring sex workers to come and have sex with your girl? That's crazy. That's some Hollywood shit that I don't even know, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But they also claiming that, you know, Diddy, he'll give ecstasy to his victims to keep them obedient.
Then they have to bring those witnesses in there. That's gonna be something hard to prove. Unless Lil Rob or or Cassie state that was something that happened. That's how the prosecutor's gonna prove that. They got a ton of evidence that they gotta try to prove, bro. A lot of that that if you read it, it could be circumstantial, you know what I'm saying? But they gotta have witness to back it up. You just can't say that that happened based on somebody lawsuit and what the words that they're saying. They have to have witnesses in there. And I think Puff lawyers is gonna be smart enough to attack that.
Right. And they claiming that Diddy, you know, he was blackmailing his victims because he had videos from old freak-offs and he was using those videos to get his victims to do another freak-off. So
if he was blackmailing people, especially people that work for him, see, this is what it's gonna get him at. See, people think that, those people work for him, or those people, if they was artists and they worked for him, or they were engineers, or they anybody that worked for them and stuff like that, your boss cannot blackmail you to do nothing. If you do a sexual act or you doing anything, your boss, if he have you doing those things like that, then he could be liable for suit. Because you're not doing it willingly. Because that individual is your boss. So psychologically, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say, that when somebody has something over you, could determine your job, your career, your livelihood. That's somewhat of a blackmail if they holding stuff that they've done, that you've done in the past, over your head to make you continually doing that stuff. Now, that's where he loses at. Cause some of those people work for him, or he was a part of doing something. They was part of doing something for their career with him. That's why he loses that case.
Chill. If you think you've seen celebs getting wild, think again. This Meek Mill video flips the whole idea of Hollywood partying on its head. Meek didn't just crack open Pandora's box. He kicked the whole thing down. And what's spilling out is wilder than finding out your best friend's been hooking up with your ex. This leaked footage is jaw-dropping. We're talking A-listers caught doing things that would make even veteran partiers cringe. Once you see who's involved and what's going down, you'll be stunned. Some of these stars need to call their PR teams immediately because they're spotless images. Done. And Diddy? He's not on the sidelines. He's dead center, running the madness. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about reckless fun. Word is, parts of that footage might cross into illegal territory. If this video's real, and it sure looks it, Diddy and the others could be facing lawsuits, investigations, and career-crushing fallout. Hollywood's about to get hit with a serious reckoning.
That Puff took Tupac blueprint and changed Biggs and Bad Boy in image. I Get Around. I Get Around talked about how fly you was, how many girls you mess with, how many cars you drive, how much money you got, what you willing to do. He took his image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had. Which, all right, some dudes would do that. You would never catch me wearing something else, something that somebody else got. He was knocking down all the women that he thought Pac was knocking down. And what I mean is having sex with them. Why would you want to have sex with women you know for sure a dude that was once cool with you was dealing with? That's that image. Cause you gotta realize, bruh, Puff and Pac was cool at one time. We know this. Mopreem said that they was gonna sign the Bad Boy. So if he's gonna sign to Bad Boy, it was because of Corey and them. I put that picture on the internet. I put the picture on my channel of Corey Jones, is Corey Jones, Corey Jacobs? I think Corey Jacobs and Pac right next to each other. Those was the real bad boys of Bad Boy. You understand? Those are the one who got the 16 to life sentence. That Pac was gonna go and be with them first. But then Mopreem said when it became just Big and Puff, because Corey and them went to jail, he changed his direction. But nobody know why Pac and Puff fell out like they did. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody know why. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was, because he started wanting to act. He started wanting to rap. He had an obsession so bad that at his Grammy Award winning speech, he used the same speech that Pac used. That shit is crazy. So when I say I'm obsessed with talking about Puff and telling y'all the truth, who's obsessed with who? Pac had Sarah before Puff. Allegedly he had Sally before Puff. And Kim had an obsession or liked Pac so much, she on the red carpet with Tupac shirt on. Who's obsessed with who?
So you believe Diddy, he only got with Sarah Chapman because Pac, he had her at one point.
And it was a bet in the office. Sarah was messing with an NBA basketball player. Puff bet all the niggas didn't believe that he could get it within 2 weeks. $100. So she actually was a $100 bet that he got.
And who was the NBA player?
I think it was Gary Payton, allegedly. That's what he said. Somebody said, she messed with Gary Payton? I bet you I get it. I bet you I have it within 2 weeks. Me and him and Sarah went to this party in Chicago that he was hosting with the Streets Entertainment. And we went to this store called Cranberry and I forgot Cranberry, and it's one of those stores like you get fragrance and you get candles, colognes and stuff like that. It's called Cranberry and something. And from that point on, yeah. But you gotta realize Misa and Kim was friends. Misa and Kim was friends. He started dealing with Kim over Misa. Kim and Sarah was friends. I mean, hand to hand, pots and pans. They was close. They all used to, Sarah, Kim, and this other girl, I think she was from Atlanta. What's her name? It missed me right now. But they all used to hang together. So then he went from Kim to Sarah. And he liked to do the friend thing. Looked like that.
I know you're dying to know what's in the video, and while I can't spill it all, here's a taste. One squeaky clean pop star gets caught doing things that'll make you rethink her whole image. Let's just say her next album might need a parental advisory label. Then there's the yoga-loving actor always preaching about clean living. Well, let's just say he's bending the truth more than his body, partying like there's no tomorrow. But the real bombshell, the power dynamics. The footage shows rising artists in sketchy situations with industry heavyweights, scenes that raise serious questions about manipulation and what people are forced to do just to climb the ladder. And how did Meek Mill even get this? That's the million-dollar mystery. Some say he was there. Others think it was an insider leak. Either way, Meek just dropped himself into what could be the biggest scandal Hollywood's seen in years, and the industry's top players are definitely sweating.
Like 14 years older than me, 15 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he was a probation officer. So he operated a little bit different. I was in the street full time, bro. You feel me? Like, I was outside in the field. So like, you know, you would hear Gene say when they got a threat on their life, Diddy told him, I'm not trying to hear that shit, Gene. Because it's your job to be gangster. It's your job to get wild with people. That's what you're getting paid for. So when you see people like that coming out, it's because they know for a fact like it's things that's going on they don't agree with, but they not man enough to say, you know what, I'm not standing for this. So a lot of love me because if I see some guys doing something crazy to a female, hold on, boy, not in front of me. So that'll lead me to get like, oh, we ain't gonna hire him no more because he's not gonna allow this. So that's how like I ended up, like whenever Imana called me, I'm immediately coming because like he not on this strange shit y'all on. You know what I'm saying? That's why like if I don't want to say his name, I was signing a contract with him. Let me be careful here. Let me be careful here, man. Let me be careful because that stuff about Diddy real, bro.
Well, what do you think about the Meek Mill accusations?
Okay. Now, you know, I used to bodyguard Rocky Fresh, who was signed to Rose.
Yep.
All right. Now, Meek said he wouldn't do a song with Rocky because Rocky wasn't street. Right. So, little things that take place and people will expect certain things out of him. But now with some of this stuff's coming out, if you look at his body of work, it's been strange things in his history. So then, you know, you go on this Twitter page, you click on his likes, bro. You see things that he's liking. That's questionable. Would you come up in here with a matching shirt with me?
Hell no.
Hell no. Ace, would you pop out with a matching shirt with me, bro? Styles, put that on something. You gonna pop out with? No, boy, it's not going like that, bro. Would you let me call you daddy?
Hell no.
No, bro. I've been saying this for years. I say, man, these boys strange, bro. The things they into is strange. I've seen so much. I've seen a lot, bro. So like with him, look how he responded to the situation. Not one time did he come out and say these things are a lie. Did you see that?
Yep.
He didn't say that.
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't deny nothing. Because if he deny it, what's finna come out? Footage.
You think Diddy has footage on Meek?
For sure. He got cameras through his whole crib. Every millionaire, billionaire I've been around, bro, they got, so I know what's going on. So if I go into the bathroom, I'm gonna cut the lights off, cut the flash on my phone, and look at the mirrors. If it's got that little hollow circle at the bottom, there's cameras in there. It's all, they're gonna be all through the crib. That's why most times I'm gonna chill in the car. Call me, text me if it's getting dangerous, I'm coming in and demonstrate. Point blank period. This the facts, bro. I've been saying it for years, bro. It's for years. That's why I stopped just going by myself. Cause I be having my own money. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can't just tell me anything. So I'm like, okay, me and phone, I'm pulling up here. That's all, I'm not gonna pay for all your friends. The guys got cheese. We go to the club, we gonna buy our own bottles. We gonna stand right here and make sure don't nothing happen. But when it comes to that camera stuff, people not denying it.
Meek lit the match, and Hollywood went up in flames. The video spread like wildfire, and Twitter lost its mind. Everyone either gasping in fake shock or staying quiet, clearly worried their own secrets might be next. Some celebs are playing innocent, while others defend Diddy like it's just harmless fun. But let's be real, this mess is far from harmless. And now, a few up-and-coming artists are speaking out, exposing the pressure to attend these parties if you want to make it. What's surfacing isn't just scandal, it's a spotlight on power, control, and how deep the game really goes.
I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying the feds are so deep and involved in this that Diddy just might be called up on that Tupac shit once they go through the money trail. Once they go through the money trail and find out why certain people was given certain positions, that it may be a problem. Because they're gonna look at all that. Anything they can bring up, they're gonna bring it up.
Wow. So you think it's possible that they might pit Pac murder on Diddy?
Yeah. That's why that tape of Cassie was released. So anybody who was willing to try to help him, anybody was trying to say that he ain't capable of doing this and he ain't capable of doing that, they got it right there on videotape.
But you being around at that time, right? Because you was working at Bad Boy at that time when, you know, the whole Pocket Big thing was going on. You personally, do you think they can get Diddy on Pac murder?
Well, they always said something about $1 million check, and nobody knew where the $1 million came from. Puff may have said it in a couple of rap songs and things like that. But they would have to trace the check back to if that check Eric Von Zip had. And I'm not going to say the person who they said they gave it to because I've said it before, and I told people who contacted me that I would bring old boy name up on there because of situations that he's having in the federal government right now. So if they trace it back to Eric Von Zip and say, why were you on, and he's dead now, but they have to explain why did he was able to get some publishing money or some kind of deal off the sale of Black Ground Records, and they put him as Tank manager or Tank something for Tank, this, that, and the third. Why did they do that?
Yeah, I got you. And when you say check, right, just to get some clarity for the people that don't know what you're talking about, you talking about the $1 million check, right, that they put on Tupac to get him killed, the hit?
Yeah. What I'm talking about is that if Puff has said on a couple of records that he'll pay $1 million to, you know, but he was just talking to people randomly. So now everybody said that, and Keefy D said that Puff told them that he'll give him $1 million. Now, do we believe that? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't. Because it was situations whereas that it could have got done by certain people that was around them, but it didn't happen. So when Zip came up with the check for $1 million, he said it was from Black Ground Records. And he said that who he got that money from. So now, if that's true, then the feds would have to go in and do a money trace on where did that check come from. And then they're going to say, why? Why was that check given to Eric Von Zip or Eric Zip Martin or Eric Martin? Why did that check was given to him and saying that he had something to do with Tank and he sold the company, which wasn't all his company anyway, for $1 million?
Now let's talk about Diddy, the man at the center of it all. He's been silent, but word is he's furious and lawyering up. Meanwhile, Meek Mill's move has split opinions. Some call him brave, others say he's stirring the pot. Either way, this is bigger than gossip. It's got real consequences. Jail time, ruined careers, and total chaos. Celebs, execs, and labels are all panicking, wondering what else might come out. It's like someone flipped on the lights, and now everyone's scrambling. Social media is a frenzy, memes are flying, and people are picking apart every second of the video like it's a scandal-themed Where's Waldo?
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of weird shit. That whole fucking, yeah, that shit weird, dude. Yeah, bunch of, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no gay basher or none. I mean, none of that shit, but that shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That shit, that whole party was weirdoed out. And it was Jada Pickett, but.
You saying that? You saying the whole party was weird? What did you see at the party that made it weird? I mean, I'm confused.
I guess it was the Illuminati. It's just weird. I know I wouldn't want to be part of no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm from the old school, dude, and that shit wasn't really tolerated with my generation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hate crime, yes, but it's more tolerated these days and nothing like that. It's more, you know what I'm saying, more open now, you know what I'm saying? But back then it was kind of fishy, you know what I'm saying? Still kind of fishy, you know, but it's more, you know, out there now.
The incident y'all had with Warren G and Kid Frost, tell me about that, my man.
Okay, Kid Frost had gave a party at the House of Blues. One of our big homeboys wanted to go with us, you know what I'm saying? So he went with us and he said, "Ooh, you young niggas have fun." So one of Kid Frost's homies still on my big homie. But he didn't know that he was around, it was maybe about 20 of us. So the dude that socked my big homie, we beat the dog shit out of him. So my big homie, he came to. He like, "That's the motherfucker?" We like, "Yeah." And there was 2 security guards had him. Had the dude that we beat up from Kid Frost entourage. So my big homie knocked that motherfucker out while the yellow jacket, you know, the yellow jackets with the event security, they had the dude. So my homie still knocking him out. Boom! So the dude with the yellow jacket was talking shit. "Man, what the fuck is wrong with him?" My homeboy knock out him too. Bam! Like, whoa. So the other one like, "Man, he got back." Little Jamaican dude come up talking shit. "Man, you going crazy?" My homeboy sock him too. So we went down to get our car from valet. And it was the dude, "It's LBC." And he like, "What the fuck is that?" And he said, "It's Long Beach City Crip." So my homeboy knew this dude was an imposter. If you from Long Beach, you gonna say Rolling 20s or Insane. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're a real block boy. You know what I'm saying? 19th Street. You gonna say something. A real Crip. So this nigga say he from Long Beach City Crip. My homeboy like, "Wait a minute. knocked him out too. So Warren G and them was down there, him and Cedric Wallace waiting on their cars. And they seen my homeboy get busy like that, so they had left before us, went up to Fat Burgers. So we came, got in our shit. They finally brought our cars from valet. We went up to Fat Burgers, and Warren G and Cedric Wallace was up there already, you know, eating their shit and shit. So we came in there. The big homie like, hey, motherfucker. He pointed at Cedric Wallace, like, man, you been dumping us for years, mother. I'm losing all my motherfucking money betting on your motherfucking ass. So Warren G was right there. He like, my homie like, man, that's a nice ass watch. So he like, man, let me try that on. You know what I'm saying? So by then, my homeboy, somebody got my homeboy attention, and he turned his head. Shit, Cedric Sabalas and what's his name was in the he was in the ragtop 500 Benz. This motherfucker like jumped off. I mean, he drove up off the motherfucker. He didn't even pay attention to the curve. He jumped off of the curve instead of using the the driveway. That shit was funny as mother. My homeboy like, damn, he almost bust his whole fucking engine block. Yeah, that shit was funny as a motherfucker. Like, damn.
Hollywood is spiraling after Meek Mill's explosive leak. It's like Pandora's box has burst wide open, and now the industry's racing to contain the damage. Some say this could change the way celebs party and protect their privacy forever. Will they ever feel safe letting loose again, or are we heading into an era of ultra-secret, lockdown events? Trust is crumbling, and everyone's side-eyeing each other behind those velvet ropes. This tea is scorching, and it's leaving marks. The glam is fading, and the truth about Tinseltown is finally showing. Buckle up. This wild ride is far from over.